Good morning and welcome to the daily devotion number 96. Today's devotion is called By Faith Noah and is taken from Hebrews chapter 11 and verse 7. At last, the work was done. The great carpenter of the Old Testament had finished the work God had given him to do. A judgment-proof means of salvation had been provided for all, and at unknown but enormous cost. Giant trees had been felled, vast timbers had been hewn, and hauls and hammered into place. All had proceeded according to plan, a blueprint for salvation, thought out in heaven, had been wrought out on earth. The work had been vast, blood and sweat and tears and toil had been the toll. But now the roof was on. Stalls and rooms and storage bins were all in place. All had been done according to plan. Now came the last activity. The ark had to be made leak-proof, safe, and secure against sea and storm, howling wind and heaving wave. So pitch was prepared and applied inside and out, over every inch of the surface of the ark, into every nook and cranny. In terms of the type, it is significant that the Hebrew word for pitch comes from the same word the word atonement comes from. It means to cover. The pitch kept the judgment waters of the flood out of the ark. Similarly, atonement keeps the judgment out of the soul. The pitch was lavishly applied. Then cautious Noah, pitch pot in one hand, brush in the other, inspected the ark one more time. It was done. It had been an enormous work. The ark, when finished, was the shape of a coffin. It would take those who trusted God through death to a new life in a new world. Then came the last appeal. Methuselah died. His longevity had become a legend, even in an age when people lived a long, long time. His father, Enoch, had been a patriarch, a preacher, and a prophet. He foretold the second coming of Christ and, nearer to his own age, the impending judgment of the flood. He even set a date for it. When he dies, it shall come, was the prophetic name he gave to his son. And now Methuselah was dead. Probably Noah, a preacher of righteousness, preached Methuselah's funeral. He is dead. We can almost hear him cry, "It will come. The heavens will tear asunder. The storm is about to burst. Flee from the wrath to come. Salvation can be yours in the ark." But he preached in vain. His last sermon, no more productive than his first one. He had preached for 120 years. All the time the ark was being built, in vain. People thought he was a fool. Then came the last animal. In twos and in sevens the animals came, big and small, wild and tame. An endless line of them came until at last the final creature found its place on board. This parade of beasts and birds must have been an astonishing testimony to the godless people of earth. Still, they shrugged it off as some kind of conjurer's trick. "Very clever, great circus act. Wonder how he did it," they would say. Finally came the last act. Noah and his family, just 8 people, went on board the ark. There was a last look around, a final call to some wavering person, a last glimpse of the cloudless sky, and the door was shut, and a week later the storm burst. But Noah was saved. His wife was saved. Shem, Ham, and Japheth were saved. Their wives were saved. Fear and faith went hand in hand, but Noah's faith had saved his family. What peace that must have brought to his soul. Happy indeed are the godly parents who live to see their children all safely in the ark. Thank you for joining me for this 96th devotion. Only 4 to go. God bless you today. See you tomorrow.